Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 16 millimeter film crew. I'm Cindy.
And I'm Dale.
This week we watched Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu, directed by Jon Favreau. The evil empire has fallen, but imperial warlords remain scattered throughout the galaxy. As the fledgling New Republic works to protect everything the rebellion fought for, they enlist the help of the legendary Mandalorian bounty hunter Din Djarin and his young apprentice Grogu. This movie stars Pedro Pascal, Jeremy Allen White, and Sigourney Weaver. So, Dale, what were your thoughts about this movie?
Why? Why does it exist? Why was it made? Um, it was good, not okay. It felt like literally I was watching an episode of Mandalorian, which this could have been just an episode of Mandalorian. There was no like expectation of a thematic beginning or ending watching this. It's just like, okay, like a 2 hour long episode of the Mandalorian. And I'm like, why? And especially considering how it opens like really dynamically. And like, so you're expecting, okay, this is like a big, serious, like Star Wars movie esque adventure. And no, it turns to an episode that I can watch on Disney Plus. So in my head, you're paying like what, $20 almost a month for Disney Plus to watch Mandalorian at your own pace. I just paid that amount just to watch one episode. If if I, like I would be, I'm really upset that I spent this money on this movie, and it's crazy to ask because um so I'm probably gonna go to my spiel now. Like the budget for this was what, 165 million. So far with box office, it's made about 250 million. Um, but to produce an it produced an episode or a season of Mandalorian. This was like 6 years ago when it first started. One episode of the Mandalorian was like $15 million. So basically, a whole season of the Mandalorian was about 120. So you basically spent the amount of money it costs to film one season for a 2 hour movie. That is crazy. That's just asinine. But they made it back because now they can shoot like two more or three more seasons with the box office budget. But that math does not math correctly in my head. Especially considering the amount of money this show already makes on the attraction of Grogu from the first season, just on merch based on him. So why go this far with making a movie than having to actually produce more merch that you hope sells, like with Happy Meals and stuff at Burger King, whatever. Like hoping people buy that stuff. Like I don't get it.
Yeah, I thought this movie was fine. I feel the same way about this movie that I felt about the other Star Wars movies, I guess the sequels. Like, I had a good time.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't. The thing is I'm not like a Star Wars um student. Like I haven't been a student of the movies for a
Yeah,
long time.
yeah.
I recently just watched the first one, Star Wars A New Hope, and that was fantastic. I love that movie. That was great. And it made me want to watch the rest of the original series. I'll think about watching the prequels. But I thought it was so good and I felt like all of the themes and and even all the actors, everyone was just like giving it everything. I was like, I love this. This is amazing. And I don't feel the same way that I felt about that one as I do about this movie. Because I watched that one right before I watched The Mandalorian. And I watched only the first season of The Mandalorian. So I actually don't know what happened in the second or third one. So I'm not really sure what's
Mm-hmm.
going on. But in this one, because he's always masked, it's kind of hard to get any kind of emotional anything. And the voice is a very specific voice. So you're not even getting any like inflections in his vocal performance either.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't know. I wasn't really getting much from the character, even though Pedro Pascal's a great actor. It's just like what are you gonna do if you are masked for 90% of the movie? And I don't know. To me, that's sort of a drawback of this particular character and this story. Like the fact that this is the first Wars movie in 7 years, and it's like this is the character that we're choosing to like push that out there. It just kind of felt weird to me because it is like I don't know, like there's not. I guess like what you're saying is like it is kind of like an adventure of the week type of situation where it's like you could have just made this into a season of television. Like it didn't actually have to be a full movie. Um, that being said, I did like how it looked. I think it was like shot pretty well. I thought the score was great by Ludwig Göransson. I thought he did a great job there. And I liked some of the action sequences. I thought some of that was pretty good, even with it's not Jabba. What's his son's name again?
Jeremy Allen White's character, Rada, or
Rada. I thought the sequence in the fighting pit with him and all the other creatures, I thought that was really good. I thought the creature designs were good and how they moved and stuff. I thought that was pretty good. It's not like I had an issue with like the settings and that overall. I just think the writing wasn't very good. I think that the vocal performances weren't that strong, except for Martin Scorsese. I think he like popped in for 2 seconds, did his thing, and I thought I did a great job, and then just like popped out. But in
yeah.
terms of like, yeah, the vocal performances for these creatures, and then the writing, I just did not feel it was very strong. I feel like Sigourney Weaver was like, I'm just here to get a check. Like she
It
looked
could have been
checked
anybody.
out. She
Like
looked checked out during this movie.
anybody could have played that role. Didn't
That
have to
was
get
crazy.
Sigourney Weaver.
And like she's in the Avatar stuff and she does great in the Avatar stuff. Like she is like a younger version of herself in the newer movies and she
Yeah,
is amazing in that. So I'm like she really did not care. She was like, "Listen, I'm here to grab a check and I'm going home." Like that was crazy. I
let
was
me
shocked.
let me shoot my two seeds and be out. 2 days worth of work, you know.
That was insane.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, I just feel like everyone, even Pedro Pascal when the mask was off, it was like everyone kind of just didn't seem like they really were like they cared that much. And maybe because like he had been doing the TV series and like back to your point, there didn't seem like it really needed to have this movie be an actual movie. I just feel like everyone was just like whatever. I feel like the most even Jeremy Allen White's voice acting was meh. The
Mm.
character was also giving me absolutely nothing. Like I feel like the best performance was Grogu, and that's a puppet. So
like, like I don't know. I mean, like you said before, in viewing like the prequels and the original movie stuff, like I'm a person I grew up on watching Star Wars cinematically. You know, after they when they were doing the prequel stuff, that's when they started blending more. Okay, we're gonna do animated stuff and expands more. I saw some of it, didn't really, you know, at that point, most for the most part, kind of aged out of watching quote unquote
mm,
cartoons as like regularly. So I kind of I'm aware of that world. I'm amazed at how wonderful it is and how they've taken a small portion of the Star Wars world and extended it for like multiple seasons and multiple programming with the Clone Wars series and then also Bad Batch. That's amazing, impressive. Um, and then of course the the the, the three we just saw recently with Daisy Ridley and
mhm.
so I'm used to experiencing Star Wars that way. So that's why when I watch this, it feels weird. I remember as a kid at the height of Star Wars when they had the prequels coming out. I had a after school counselor who had hella Star Wars movies, and one of them in particular was like a side story called Ewok Adventure, and I think it was just a direct to video thing, and it had nothing to do with any other Star Wars character. It was just a family who crash lands on the Ewoks planet and kids having fun. That's what this movie feels like to me. It's just a splice in it. And I'm a fan of Star Wars more now because they've said, okay, cool. People are kind of bored of just focusing on this particular Skywalker family and their bullshit. So they're making an attempt to expand it to a degree. But then you have when they started the Mandalorian, they said, okay, cool, we're gonna do Boba Fett. Boba Fett then now becomes 3 or 4 episodes are dedicated to the Mandalorian and Grogu. Like Mandalorian has now been superseded by Grogu in his own show. They do Ahsoka. Ahsoka has her thing. They bring in stuff from the animated properties, but then they also insert Grogu in there. like I feel like the small cute character has incepted the other expanded media that they're trying to do just to sell toys for it. Which at the end of the day, Star Wars has to sell toys. Um, I did like some of the visual aspects of it. It seems to me like they went back to like the more original animatronic style of even the machinery, the robots, the walkers and the AT-ATs were looked very puppetry, like the scenes of the Mandalorian and Grogu going down the mountain looked very puppet like.
Hmm.
I love that. And I was like, oh, this feels like I'm watching those scenes for me felt like I'm watching like original Star Wars. Um Pedro Pascal, I'm iffy on. He does the role well. I don't have a problem with his voice acting. I think the issue people have with trying to read the character's emotion is because the Mandalorian is supposed to be stoic. He's supposed to be silent. Um, and the only other character in Star Wars you can relate to that is Darth Vader. But Darth Vader has a looming presence when his lack of action draws you in. Whereas Mandalorian, he's there playing against which is essentially a toddler, and all you hear is "Don't do that" at a helmet turn, which is kind of hard to read emotions. Um, but it is doable because like I've grown up watching Power Rangers, watching a lot of other Tokatsu, which is like mass superhero stuff. Hell, Andrew Garfield's Spider Man. It is possible to have a fully masked hero and then still have him emoting effectively. I think the problem with the Mandalorian is because the fact that he's supposed to be stoic and unemotional, those bits of emotion that you want to come across through physical, like a slight head tilt as he's reacting to something or body movement, we don't get because
Hmm.
of how he's supposed to be. And I think that weakens to a degree Pedro Pascal's performance as an actor because he can't really express with his body. He only is stuck with using his voice, which kind of limits your range as an actor. I was impressed with Jeremy Allen White's voice acting. Because I was like, I'm waiting for hear his voice the whole time I'm watching this, and I was like, wait, that's Jeremy Allen. Like, I was really impressed with that. But other than that, this movie did not leave me wanting more at all. I just sat there like it was hard for me literally to watch 2 hours of this. Like in
Hmm.
the theater, I'm like, when is this going to end? Like dead ass. So maybe if it was on Disney Plus, I would have paused it and walked around and did some other shit. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I, I did like it. I just maybe when because I had just watched the original Star Wars movie, I don't know, it just feels so different. Like it just the performances just feel so alive and everyone like really clicks. Like that main trio, just like everything kind of just works.
Yeah.
And even Darth Vader's performance, because well, I think it was James Earl Jones, so his voice is just amazing
His
anyways.
voice,
Yeah,
yeah, his
so
voice.
I'm
He
like,
wasn't a
I'm
physical
sold.
actor, but it was his voice.
It
Yeah.
was his voice, yeah, and his voice is like so he has the perfect voice, so like yes, like that whole performance was working for me. But everyone was just I don't know, everything felt urgent and everything felt like it needed to happen right now and like all the character like I don't know, there was just like an energy that I don't really that I did not feel here, and I didn't feel like during the last two. What was the sequel movies? I felt it during maybe the first one where they had like it was Oscar Isaac and um Daisy and I don't want to forget his name.
Oh, the Return of the Last Skywalker
Force
or Force
Awakens.
Awakens. Okay,
That
yeah,
first one, yeah.
yeah,
And I felt it more then because I think all the actors had really good chemistry. So like again, it energized it. Like it made me interested.
yeah.
The last two were kind of okay. But yeah, I guess because again, he's masked and there are have been some really great mask performances for sure.
Mm,
But yeah, I just wasn't really getting that in this one. And I will say that I think it's too long. I think these movies are too long. This one, there's a whole section where the Mandalorian is got poisoned by that snake thing, and so he's like out of commission for like I don't know 15 minutes. I felt like 15 minutes of that whole movie, and Grogu has to figure out how to like
Fight
survive and
him.
like
Yeah.
make it work for both of them. And I was like, oh my God, like I was really feeling the runtime there. I was like, yo, you can't.
Mm.
kind of speed run this a little bit. Like, no, that wasn't happening. So yeah, it just wasn't, I guess to me it was fine as like you're saying, if it was just on Disney Plus, I would be like,
Mm.
yeah, sure, I'll definitely get into this. And I didn't mind seeing on the big screen because again, like the visuals and how it was shot was very well done. So it's not like it was a waste of time necessarily to watch it. I just don't, I don't know. It just felt kind of like, here you go. Like it, like you said, it didn't really feel like it justified his existence for being there. And to the whole Grogu thing, one, I found out that that's not even Baby Yoda. And I was like, so why have y'all been calling this Baby Yoda for the last, I don't know, 10 years? Like, what's
It's
going on?
it's the same species, but nobody knows the name of the Yoda species. Even people, Lucas and the people behind Star Wars don't really have a name for Yoda species. That's why people just call it Baby Yoda.
I felt misled because I thought that was Baby Yoda, and that was not. He is not. But also like he makes baby noises, and I'm just like, wait a second. If The Mandalorian came out how many years ago? Why is this thing still so childlike? Wouldn't it have grown up a little bit? I don't know. I was confused by
In
that.
Star Wars terms, Grogu slash Baby Yoda isn't really supposed to be a baby anymore
Mm-hmm.
because he's supposed to be like
Mm-hmm.
over 100 plus years, unless that's how his species age. But yeah, he's sadly not supposed to really be acting like a child to that degree, considering if bad shit didn't happen, he'd probably still be a Jedi Padawan kind of thing. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that confused me, but it also just made me think, okay, they're really trying to sell this animatronic as like they're trying to sell it. Like they know that there's a market for this character and they are like really pushing it.
Hmm.
And I don't know how I felt about that. I was like, I don't love it. I don't love it. Um, yeah, that was kind of weird to me. Because he's so capable. Like he's able to heal and move things. Like he's like I just feel like him being a baby really it really kind of just feels like it's there to like sell stuff because there isn't doesn't seem like there really needs to be a need for him to be that way
Yeah.
anymore. But
Well, the thing is with this, and the also reason why it feels like it should be an episode is because I think the main run for the Mandalorian technically was the last season came out 2023, right? If I'm correct. Yeah,
I guess so.
2023. And that's March to April. Apparently the production of the fourth season was delayed because of labor disputes. Most likely those just strikes that were happening prior to
Hmm.
that. And so they decided to, instead of doing a whole season, flip it to a movie.
Oh,
And so
okay.
then they announced a movie of January 2024. So yeah, that's why it feels not like an actual Star Wars esque movie. It just feels like an episode because they pivoted. Well, labor disputes, can't shoot a movie. Can't shoot 8 episodes basically. Let's just make it a movie. So
Mm.
yeah.
Well, they did.
Yeah.
I will
Like
say that when I was looking at some of the numbers, they made their budget back, but there are two new movies that are in theaters right now, Backrooms and Obsession, and they are doing way better than this movie. Like they
shot on a lot smaller
kicked
budget.
kind of kicked Mandalorian down the road a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is amazing, which makes me feel like the market for these kinds of movies where it's just like, you know, this franchise, so we're just gonna make another one of these and you will come see it. I feel like hopefully that's starting to go out the door a little bit and we can get back to just making like new stuff because
Yeah.
this exists in part and mostly because it is a part of this huge franchise and Disney is banking on this franchise to continue to make money. And I just feel like if we show them that actually their market can expand a little bit and you don't have to just keep making more of these movies to print out money, like I think that's good. I feel like maybe this is a shift. I don't know, maybe I'm being optimistic, but I hope it is. Cause like why? Like when I see Sigourney Weaver's performance, I'm just like, there's no reason to do any of this. Everyone would have been just fine. You know what I mean? Like you didn't have to corral and like get a whole bunch of crew and like do all the time that it takes to like figure out all this stuff to make this movie. You could have just left it alone and everyone would have moved on to their next project and it would have been great. Like I don't know. It just kind of feels like we have to stop doing things just because we can. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, like for this weekend, Obsession came out it's been out for 3 weeks.
Hmm.
And it's been the second best movie for the last 2 weeks. This Star Wars movie, it debuted, it's in the second week, it debuted its first week at number one. Now it's number three.
Yeah.
And total gross percentage loss between week one and week two is about 70%. And like you
Dang.
said, Backrooms and Obsession, are the two bigger movies. Backroom debut has so far made 81 million, and Obsession has made 105 so far. And the total gross for Star Wars the past week was like, for the last 2 weeks, was 300, no, 136, and that's just domestic, that's not international. But yeah, so
So, I don't know.
I think this is also a symptom of, once you have multiple studios coalesce into one. Like at one point, Walt Disney slash ABC was, it owns Fox,
Mhm.
it owns Fox Searchlight now. Amazon now owns MGM Studios. Paramount is about to merge with Warner Brothers. So you have, well, not Warner Brothers, Warner Brothers, yeah, whatever. But you
They're
have
taking
so
it
many of
over.
these,
Yeah.
yeah, you have so many of these distributors and these production companies, as far as major Hollywood, who are now coalescing and merging into one. So now they have to saturate the market with, okay, we've merged. Now we have to somehow make back money. What do people want to see, or what has made us money before? And so you get this, like Netflix has now rebooted A Different World, that kind of thing. But the lead character still has her father's glasses from the 90s. So I'm like, what's the cultural relevance in the kid wearing the glasses? I don't think anybody who has not seen the original Different World will understand why she has those glasses. But it's
Hmm.
just one of those things of, hey, this sold before, hopefully it sells again, because it's a name.
Yeah, and I don't want that anymore. Please just come. Like there are people who have so many new ideas. Like just give
Mm-hmm.
them a chance. Like don't waste your money on that. I don't know. It's just because to me it's like I felt like we did reach some kind of a point where it's like, okay, you can understand that original content sells.
Mm-hmm.
Started with Oppenheimer, Sinners. I feel like this has happened like a bunch of times over since then. Like, okay, so there's a marketplace for that where you can have original ideas, do really well in theaters, do really well on streaming services. With Squid Game, I think that was an original idea. Like, I just feel like we already know this now, so like why are we still trying to dip into the well of nostalgia and dip into the well of this happened years ago, and so because there was an audience for that, there might still be an audience for it. Like I just like can we just move away from that? Like I understand there will always be franchises, there will always be IPs that are going to be profitable.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine, I guess, if people want that. But when I see like that they're making a Practical Magic 2, I'm like, who even asked for that? Like I don't even
Mm-hmm.
remember like who wanted this. I'm just confused. And I know they're paying crazy amounts of money to these actors to come back and reprise these roles. And then I don't really know how it's going to do in the theaters. Like I'm not sure it will do well. I mean, I could be wrong, but like it just feels like let's just maybe do more of the original stuff because now we can see, I guess maybe we didn't realize that before, but maybe now we can see that there is profit in that. Like let's just fuel like let's keep that going. Like I don't know. I'm just confused. And I'm maybe not confused. I understand how it works. It's just like I don't know. I wish we could have some other options and
I
like
mean,
have those options funded. Well,
And it's sad because you have this group of people who complain and say, "Oh, I want to watch original movies." Boots
Mhm.
Riley's picture, I love boosters. Amazing reviews in Rotten Tomatoes and everywhere across the board, but nobody's watching it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
find that weird. People say, "Oh, we don't retire these remakes and reboots." Here are original properties. You have property of I Love Boosters. You had You, Me, and Tuscany. A lot of movies, a lot of original movies that aren't attached to a major IP, and because you don't know about it or because it's not attached to a major IP, you don't see it. But then you also say you wish they're original movies. You're making those arguments and still not seeking out that original content. I look at it like this is like black comic book nerd spaz moment. Like a lot of black comic book nerds or black people complain, oh, we want more black superheroes. We want more Static Shock X, Y, Z. DC Comics will put out a Static Shock comic and it'll do it. They'll do it for like 2 or 3 months. And then once they go look back and say, okay, cool, you guys have asked for this comic to be made. We've done like a 5 comic issue run that's once a month essentially, or every 2 weeks. No one's picking it up. So we're going to cancel it. But you complain once it's canceled. But
Mhm.
you weren't enjoying the content. So you can't have it both ways. If you're gonna request the content, you also have to, absorb it. So yeah.
That is true. That's true. That's a good point. I wonder what that is. Why people aren't for the Boots Riley thing. I can kind of understand because when I watched his first movie, I was like, "Huh." Like the first part, I was like, "Yeah, I get this," and the second part, I was like, "I don't know what's going on."
Okay.
So maybe the movie, his stuff is kind of challenging in terms of like a viewing experience, but I also feel like I think that's okay. I think people can gravitate towards that. Um, so I don't know. I'm not really sure what happened there, but I don't know. When I was younger, like I watched Twilight, which is like a huge movie at the time, but it was through my interest in that I found the actors' other work, which were independent films that like nobody saw. It was just like on YouTube for free. Like nobody
Yeah.
didn't even care to throw it up there. But it was through that I was like, oh wait, what are these movies? I've never seen these before. I've never heard of any of these movies before, and I got interested in it that way. But I don't know in our media climate with social media, like if that can still happen where you can like discover something new and like be interested in it and support that. I don't know if people are still doing that. I feel like it really has to be like either so word of mouth that like you cannot avoid it because it's all over your timeline, or yeah, I don't know, or it has like an enormous marketing budget where it's just in your face. Like I don't know if there is like
Mm.
another way to get to like the good stuff. I'm not sure
Oh,
in
oh,
this climate.
yeah, and I don't know. I feel like the absurd like people like you're not the only person I've heard make that complain about watching Boots Riley's movies, but I find it funny that those complaints happen when it's a black absurdist director. No one complains about Charlie Kaufman. No one complains about John Waters. No one complains about David Cronenberg. No one complains about
I
Terry
have.
Gilliam. I mean, yeah, I'm okay with that with you. Like,
Mm.
because you watch these guys. No one complains about Yorgos Lanthimos
Yeah,
at
that's
all.
true. Yeah.
But when it comes to when Boots Riley wants to make his absurdist movies, everybody goes, "Oh, I don't get it," but everybody else is lauded and praised. Like, why is it when it's a black absurdist director, they don't get the same praise and adulation as his white contemporaries? I don't know.
That's a
That's
good
probably
point.
another thought for another episode.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
yeah, you should really
yeah.
get into that in on an extra episode. Yeah. Well, I think that's it for us this week. We hope that you're all doing well and taking care of yourselves. Make sure to check out all of our social media, support us if you can, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.
Au revoir.